Hello, my name is Dr. Maya Byfield. My business is The Phenomenal STEMist. I'm so excited to be here in Orange County because it's where I live. I live in Apopka, Florida. And I decided to make this business because I saw a need for underrepresented students to be successful in STEM, which stands for science, technology, engineering, math. And the best way I can do that is just provide products for parents to prepare them, whether it's a book or online STEM camps or just video podcasting. My goal is to transform this community, especially those who are underrepresented. And the way to do that is to help parents understand their children's minds and basically develop them at different stages of their lives to be prepared for a successful STEM career. Thank you so much. That's why I'm here. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How are you guys doing tonight? I have a special guest. It's the phenomenal STEMist. Come on in the room. Madge Geohagen, how are you?
I am wonderful, Maya. Good to see you. Thanks for
Oh,
having me.
listen, I'm just excited. I'm grateful. I have a lot of students, and a lot of my students want to be PAs, aka physician's assistants. So I'm excited that I have someone on here, a beautiful black Jamaican woman of my ancestry, representing tonight. Before I go into this interview, I just want to always, remind the people the book Phenomenal STEMist, the number one way to get your kid to be a PA is for them to be prepared. So prepare your kids from the womb to the university. Get that book on Amazon now, and of course, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you want to educate your kids in some camps, feel free to check me out on www.phenomenalstemist.com. All right, that's enough with the commercials. Enough with the homework. I have with me Madge Geohagen. She is a very important PA. She's been a PA for a long time. She received her bachelor's degree from Teachers College in education. I just learned about this. This is amazing. Education. This is where she then taught in Jamaica in the arts. She has a degree in education, but after migrating to America, she went on to get her associate's degree from Essex County College and then her bachelor's in biology from Rutgers University and on to the University of Medicine and Dentistry and Seton Hall University, where she got her master's degree in the physician's assistant program. So she has a beautiful story, and we're going to get into that story right now as we speak. Madge, how you doing?
I am wonderful. So excited to be here with you.
Yeah, me too, me too. My mother's in the house. She's the number one fan. Everybody else
Oh,
watching.
yes, absolutely.
Everybody else watching the replay. Nah, people gonna flood in soon. Um, when did you fall in love with your discipline?
Well, my discipline currently being a physician assistant, I didn't start out in that discipline as I, as you know. Um, I wanted to be a fashion designer.
Wow.
So I came from Jamaica to the United States to study fashion design. Being accepted at Fashion Institute in Manhattan,
Big
I
school.
yes, oh yes. I later found out that would have been too expensive for me as a foreign student, and my parents could not afford that. So I decided just hold off on that, and I took another route. I decided to just work for a little while, Then I went back to school. But funny enough, my niece went on to become a fashion designer. So
Wow.
she fulfilled that for me.
Fulfill the dream for you.
Yes.
Um, you are a fashion what do you mean went on to become? She went on to become. You are a fashion designer. You are it makes sense. Bachelor's degree education, taught art, love fashion. You dress to the hills in every way. Okay? You design shoes. You
Yes.
you are a fashion designer.
Well, yes, in my own way, but not
In,
formally.
not formally,
Yeah.
not formally.
Yeah.
But it's okay. So you went another route based on opportunity. Based on opportunity, mommy calls you a fashionista. That's what she calls you, a fashionista.
Yes, Pat, I am.
Based on opportunity, as a student, from a foreign country, you came to America. You looked at opportunities and you said, "Listen, I'm going to do something relevant." And I think that is real.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So why did you choose physician assistant? Like why biology? Why physician assistant? That's such a difference. It's so different from like
Uh,
it's a whole different side of the brain from
yes,
the arts.
yes. As a child, I've always wanted to be a nurse. I've always wanted to be in the medical field. So when I got that opportunity to go back to school, and I always loved the sciences. So when I got that opportunity to go back to school, I decided, okay, I'll major in biology. I didn't know I was going to be a physician assistant.
Mm.
I thought maybe I'll probably go on to be a doctor or, um, maybe a physical therapist, but I didn't know. I think physician assistant chose me.
Wow. How? How
Yeah.
did they choose you?
Okay. So when I was going to school back up in New Jersey,
Mhm.
I the opportunities to work were mainly in the medical field. I worked while I went to school. I always worked full time and went to school full time.
Wow.
And
That's big.
the jobs that I did was taking care of people in their homes. So I was like a medical assistant, home health care, and I did that because it allowed me to study. I was able to
Mm.
do those jobs and study at the same time. I would work hours upon hours. I would go to work in the evenings, rush home in the morning. I get off work in the morning, take a shower, had something to eat, and went to school. And I was doing like 18 credits.
Whoa, you were
I was
working
doing
full
it.
time and doing eight. I can't. Sometimes people don't even want to do 12.
Yeah, 18 credits.
Not
And
working.
yeah, yep, yep.
Wow.
Remember when I was in undergrad and I'm doing all these biology courses,
Yeah.
um, comparative anatomy of the vertebrae, you know, even when I got to a point, I realized, oh, anatomy and physiology, I did part two, but I didn't have part one. But they allowed me to do one and two
Together.
together because I
Wow.
had so many biology courses.
You
So,
were you were doing it. You were doing it. I took those classes as well, and I remember doing 21 hours.
wow.
21 hours sophomore year and junior year. My senior year was light because of it.
Hmm.
I had to do so many of these lab classes. And
Yeah.
I taught lab on top of it. So I stayed in the lab, but I wasn't working full time. I'm
Oh,
amazed. I'm amazed at your story of working eight full time and taking 18 hours worth of credits. But see, here's what I hear from you. You chose a job that was feasible. You chose a job that would allow you to do that.
absolutely.
That is critical.
And not only that, I had a house, I had a mortgage. So, so Maya, I had to work. There was no,
You had responsibilities.
yes, I had to work because it had gotten to one point where when I was now in PA school and we were doing clinicals, There's no way around it. So my mortgage went into arrears. So
Wow.
when I got done with PA school, I knew that I had to find a job right away,
Right away.
right away.
Right
And
away.
that's why I said, even my field today, that was preordained because it was not something that I thought that I would want to do.
Got you.
When I got done with my rotations, I said to myself, the last thing I wanted to do was anything to do with surgery. And guess what? When I was done with PA school, there are a couple of jobs available.
And it was that.
Surgery.
It was that.
I applied. I didn't want it, but I applied. I got into vascular surgery.
Wow.
But luckily, and this is what's all, it's only God. God had my back the entire journey because I got into that hospital. It was a teaching hospital. So we had residents, and the residents all wanted to be in the OR, which I didn't want to be in the OR. So the residents wanted to be in the OR. I was fine with just seeing patients in the hospital, in the office. I was fine with that. So I didn't have to be in the OR. I was involved in a $11 million study. So
Wow.
that they took me, yes, in that hospital. So that was the best part of my journey. And that's where I learned vascular, doing veins.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I do now.
That's what you do
That
now. Yeah.
I love it so much. But that's
Okay.
God.
All God. All God. What I'm hearing from you is, and I feel like this is a lot of people's story, and I just wish it was more people's story. This is what I wish.
Mhm.
I'm hearing you are a PA out of Providence.
Absolutely.
Open doors. You walk through open doors that were lucrative to help you support yourself financially.
Absolutely.
Listen, like, can we keep it like everybody's like, oh, I gotta love what I do. I gotta love what I listen. Madge loves what she does in the context of she's doing designing. She designs clothes. She designs shoes. She wanted to be a fashion designer, but she realized it was not a feasible thing at that time based on her circumstance. So did she just push and just say, I'm going to do it and go bust? No, she said, listen, I'm going to take opportunities that are relevant, that are well paying, and will get me to do what I want to do for fun on the side. And I feel
Absolutely.
like I wish more of us would do that,
Yes.
Madge.
Yes. Yes.
It's the same thing with artificial intelligence. That's it's a big thing right now. People are like, oh, I don't want to do that. I'm like, you better do that. You better make that. You better make that money
It's
and then
coming
do
with,
what you love on the side.
it's coming whether you like it or not.
And not even just it's coming whether you like it or not, but I'm talking about opportunities of relevance. I feel like a lot of people are not considering that they need to choose careers that are relevant so that they can financially support themselves, so they can be in high levels of freedom, and then they could do what they love on the side. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
it's versus struggle through life. Madge was not about struggling through life.
Mm-mm.
And
No, 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 no. And look at it. I love what I do. I
she,
love
yeah,
it.
and you love it. Providence leads to loving what you do. But the thing is, you did not think you would love it, or you weren't you right. You did not want to do surgery at first
No,
until you got the opportunity, and you realized, hey, this is great.
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So PA school, PA physician's assistant program really chose you. It was led to you by Providence. So
Yeah.
what tools did you use to discipline yourself to succeed? So you could talk to me about whether your high school, your college experience, your PA school experience. What did you need to discipline yourself to succeed?
One thing that I've always done over the years is to write down my goals. I
Mm,
always put it in writing because when I see it in writing, then I can try to figure out how to achieve them. And
mm,
what I do, I take baby steps.
Yeah.
with those goals. So I would break them down into little segments, manageable segments, in order to achieve it. So that was my way of doing it. Whether it was studying or whatever it was, I've always done that. Just write it down.
So for your successful in life, you had to see it. You had to write it down. You had to write your vision down. I recently I used to write my schedule down, like to keep myself on schedule on paper,
Yes.
and I switched it now. Now I put it on my Google Calendar.
Hmm.
And so now everything that I have to do pops up on my phone. Okay, it's time to do phenomenal stemness. Phenomenal stemness is going to start in half hour.
Right.
Dinner, like dinner at 6. Like everything that I have is on the schedule, and it's really been helping me. So you're saying to discipline yourself, you have to basically write that thing down. What is it about seeing it that makes you disciplined?
Because when I see it, I know I have to fulfill it.
Ah,
If I just leave it in my head, I'm getting older, so I forget.
I hear
But
you.
when it's written down and then I go and check it off,
Check
that's
it
the
off.
greatest feeling when it's checked
Yeah.
off.
Checked off.
Checked off. Yes.
Checked off.
Yes.
Yes, yes. At night, I have a book, and I said I have a plan for the day. I wrote everything down. I've just started to do that actually, but you've been doing that from young.
Hmm.
Wow. So now I'm like, okay, I did this, I did that, I did that.
Yes. And it feels so good
Yeah,
because you feel like you have accomplished something for the day.
and you do it with baby steps. You don't try to do an insurmountable
No.
goal.
Then that's when you get overwhelmed.
Yeah, yeah,
It's too much.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you have to prioritize.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. That's the key.
So write it down, prioritize your goals, keep it simple, baby steps, and that's how you discipline yourself and check it off. It gives you encouragement for the next day to do it again.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
Another thing I learned to do over time is also to forgive myself.
Show yourself grace.
Yes.
Yeah.
Girl, I remember back in college, undergrad, I was so hard on myself, and I had to be that A student,
Hmm.
you know, working full time, going to school full time, and I still want to maintain 105. We had our my genetics teacher. He used to do an extra 5 points.
Got you.
And girl, if I missed that 5 point, it bothered me the whole it bothered me the whole time. Why did I miss that? And I kept focusing on that little 5 point mistake that I made and didn't get the extra 5 point. I still made an A, but
Right.
but it would bother me. So I had to over time learn to forgive myself. If I get a C in calculus, it was okay.
It's all right.
Yes.
Listen, I remember my sophomore year. I don't know if you remember this, mommy, but my sophomore year, I kept getting B's and I was just not satisfied. Or my second semester, my first freshman year, I think. And oh, yeah, freshman year. And I called home crying till my eyes swole up. I had to go to class in sunglasses the next day because I was crying so bad of my disappointment in
Yes.
myself.
Yes.
And I don't even remember. I don't even remember. Mommy remembers. Okay. I don't even remember what she told me, but I had to get to the place where I was, like I show myself grace. It's a perfectionist. It's the
Yes.
perfectionism in us,
Yes. Yes.
and life is not perfect. You're
No.
not gonna get everything perfect.
No.
Put God first. This is what I did. I put
Yes.
my sophomore year. I put God first. I did my best, and I did better. I got
Yes.
straight A's the sophomore year. So it was you can't you're not gonna be perfect, guys, and you don't have to be.
No. Not at
Yeah,
all.
yeah,
Nobody is expecting you to be.
yeah. Except for yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. Nah, Psalms 51 was another situation, mom. That was when I was here. Um, what were your challenges in school?
Mine was
So
mine
yeah.
was mainly financial.
Mm.
Financial, because as I said, my parents could not afford to support me financially while I'm here going to school, having to live someplace. I was by myself too. I came here, I stayed with my aunt in New York for a little while, and then I moved over to New Jersey and was basically on my own. Had to pay the
How
mortgage.
old were you?
I came here when I was 24.
So you were an adult learner too. You were an
Mhm,
adult learner.
mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. So doing all that by myself, you know, keeping up with the bills, trying to get student loans, doing all that just to take me through. I remember at one point, I tell you, thank you, Lord, I persevered. Because I remember at one point when in PA school, I almost gave up
Wow.
because it was just so difficult. The mortgage in arrears. I had to sometimes use credit cards to pay
Wow.
bills. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. It
When I,
makes sense.
yeah, there are times I went into my car just to find whatever quarters, whatever change I had to buy whatever I needed. So at that time, I was ready to quit. But then I thought, quitting now is not going to help because I'm seeing the finish line, but it's it's hard getting there. But I just stayed prayed up.
Persevered. You
Mhm,
persevered through the
mhm.
struggles. Your challenges were financial, and I just want to celebrate you for doing this by yourself.
Mhm.
You did this. Well, you didn't do it. God helped you, but I'm talking about humanly by yourself. Um, I can imagine the cost of living. But you persevered. This was critical. Like you kept going, even though it was hard. You said it was a lot of money, but you said you went to a Essex County college. I like that you chose the best you can. You didn't go to a 4-year university right away. You
No,
went to a 2-year college first, got your prerequisites, then you went to Rutgers.
Rutgers.
Then you like it's okay, guys. You can get your
Absolutely.
prerequisites done at a state college, a county
Yes.
community college.
Yes. And Rutgers accepted all my credits.
All the credits they get, yeah, because they're the
Yeah.
same. Yeah. Matter of fact, I teach at Seminole State College. I have a PhD teaching Bio 1. Many students who take Bio 1 over at a university, they're getting taught by people with TAs, master's degrees.
Absolutely.
So it's the best kept secret. And for the foreign student who doesn't have a lot of money, it is. My grandmother went to community college to get her nursing degree. My mother went before she went to NYU. My father went. Like, it's affordable education. But even in spite of getting the most affordable way, it was still a financial struggle for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was my main struggle.
Yeah. So you just basically persevered with every script, work,
Yeah.
loans, credit
Yes.
cards.
Yes.
You invested in yourself. I
Yes.
was having a big fight with one of my friends about debt, about how God told me to take out student loans at Oakwood. I did. But I didn't take out student loans forever. I didn't take out
No.
all the student loans, but it's okay to take out a student loan to invest in yourself as
Yeah.
long as there's a proper return. Like I would take
Yes.
out a student loan to become a PA because they'll pay me back good.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Not a lot of money in student loans, but enough to make you support yourself for
Yes.
sure while you're in school. Invest in yourself. You
Mhm.
invest in yourself.
And absolutely.
So tell me about your typical day. Like, what do you do now? What do you do now? And like the best way that I've learned, well, one of my friends, her role, she says the best way to ask this question is, tell me what your typical day is like, so I can get an understanding of what a physician assistant does. And then after you tell me that, tell me what your challenges are.
All right. So first of all, I only work 2.5 days now.
Woo!
Yeah,
This is what I'm talking about. Like, listen.
2.5 days. We currently have three offices, and I cover three offices. But Friday is a half a day, so that's why it's half a day. So I go to all three offices. So my days when I do work, I get up and get dolled up, which I don't have to because I can wear scrubs. But
Yeah.
especially since COVID, and all the clothes were in the closet, and I'm like, no, they have to come out. So that's a reason to get dressed up. The shoes are in there, getting all dry rot. So I enjoy that part of it, getting put together to go in. And my patients as well as my coworkers, they all love it. They like wonder, what is she wearing today?
What you gonna wear today?
As a matter of fact, sometimes we do decide on a, a color for the day. So if you see, sometimes I post pictures and we're wearing some of the same colors, it's because we decide on doing that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So they,
You have a good camaraderie in your
oh,
office.
yes, yes. That's the best part of my day, is going in with those girls. They're a lot younger than I am, and I do enjoy them. So I go in, and as a matter of fact, before I even go in, I always make preparation from the day before. I take a look at my schedule. I plan well, it's pre planned, but I have an idea of what my day is going to be like, who I'm going to see. And so mentally, I prepare for those patients. So it's a variety of things that I do. Um, I do veins, spider veins, Botox, fillers. We do have a weight loss program. We do hormone optimization as well. So it varies throughout the day what type of patient I'm seeing.
So what field of medicine is this?
The doctor that I work with, he is a primary care physician,
Mhm.
but all these specialties come under his umbrella. He did kind of specialize in veins, so
Mhm.
that's how I ended up working with him to begin with,
Got you.
starting out with veins and stuff. But I've also done Botox and fillers over the years. And
So what I'm hearing is you have a physician, he runs a practice, or you have physicians who are over a certain department in a hospital, but in your case, he runs a private practice, and you are his assistant. Basically, you are assisting in the things that he would do. So, for instance, vascular surgery or removing spider veins, are like blue veins, getting
and
what's
he does the varicose veins. Varicose veins are the ones that are bulging.
bulging out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
little red ones, the little red spider looking ones, those are the ones that I treat. I treat those by injecting them.
Got you. So you're basically treating patients as a physician would. So under the umbrella of a physician, you're doing a lot of the work, whether it be
Oh, the same thing that he does. He
same
works.
thing he does.
Yeah, he works in the off. He works too, in a different office. We're never in the same office at the same time.
Got you.
We have different providers, so each office always has a provider. So we have many providers.
So what's the difference between a physician's assistant and a physician?
The money,
The money. The money.
because
That's
we do the same things. We prescribe medication. We diagnose. We treat. It's the same thing, but they make more money.
wow.
Yeah. Whereas a physician assistant, though, we are more flexible because
Mhm.
we say, for instance, I decide I am vascular and I
Okay.
decide I want to go into pediatrics.
You
I can
can.
I can
You
change.
can.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's the beauty of it. If
Yeah.
you're a physician, you gotta go through. The money is good, but you have to go through a lot more training. Then you have to do a residency. Then you may have to do internships or some kind of specialization. And once you do all of that, you do it in pediatrics, you do it in surgery, you do it. You're stuck with it.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
But a physician assistant can, if I want to be help a surgeon today and be assisting in surgery, and I'll do surgery. If
No,
I
but this thing is, they hire you for a particular field.
got
So
you,
you're right. So if I decide that I want to, they would want me to have some experience in
got you.
pediatrics, you know, to hire me. But I can, because some people will take you on and train you, because I
Right,
haven't done anything in peds in how long.
right.
So it's like that. But if I decide, okay, I'm tired of vascular, I think I want to go peds, and somebody decides, oh, they'll take me on to do um, orthopedics or whatever field, I can always change.
Yeah, that's the beauty of being a physician assistant. You can always change. You have to get a little bit of experience in it,
Correct.
but you still, it's a easier way to transition.
Yeah.
Um, wow. So what are your challenges?
I, well, one of the main challenge that I have is patients who come in and, how can I nicely say this?
Say it nice. Say it nice.
you they don't want to recognize you as the provider
Hmm.
because of different things.
Right.
Yeah, yes.
I
So
know exactly what you're talking about.
yes.
And
So that,
you could be a physician and they still don't want to recognize you as the
correct,
provider because of
correct.
different things. I know what you're talking about.
So I remember one time in particular, this one patient came in, and normally the medical assistant bring the patient back, but I am so different. I like to go greet my patients in the waiting area, and I bring them back. So I went and I called the lady, and I took her back to the room. So I was letting her know that I would be doing the treatment, and oh, so where's the doctor?
Hmm.
I am the physician assistant and I'll be doing the treatment. Would you prefer that the doctor do your treatment? Well, and she went on talking, right? And so I started to, I always just pour love,
Yeah.
just love. When you see stuff like that, you just cover it with love. So
Mm.
I poured on the love, and I started to talk to her about the veins, because she was there for veins. I started talking with her about veins and stuff, and she was so appreciative of the education that I gave her, and I ended up doing her treatment, but in the back of my
In the
mind,
beginning.
how it started.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's one of the main challenge.
So
Um,
the main challenge is that you're not getting the respect of as a provider that, and many of the times, I mean, you have a background in education. Not to knock my friends who are physicians. I have a lot of friends who are physicians and family. But many healthcare providers don't take the time to educate the patient. They
no,
don't take the time to love on the patient. They
no,
don't, right? And you take the time to love on, educate the patient, and they just being disrespectful to you because you don't have a MD behind your name, right? Um, this it's a level of status.
yes,
Yeah, even though you're providing the same amount of care,
yes,
sometimes even more intentional care,
absolutely,
you
absolutely.
know. I have a question, and this is not a part of the question, but what's the difference between a PA and a nurse and NP? So a physician's assistant and a
And
nurse
nurse
a
practitioner.
nurse practitioner.
Okay, it's just a matter of the training. A nurse
Mhm.
practitioner, it was trained using a nursing model. They normally come from a nursing background,
Mhm.
and go on to be a nurse practitioner, whereas a PA was trained using a medical model. And
Mhm.
so when I went to school, there were people in my class who had computer science background,
All
but
kinds of
they
backgrounds.
had to have had experience working in the medical field because that was a prerequisite for PA school.
Hmm.
So nurse practitioners have to have a nursing background, whereas PAs, we come with experience in the medical field, but doesn't have to be from a nursing.
Got it.
But we do the same thing.
Do the same thing. Do the
Hmm.
same thing. But just either through the model. The model
Yes,
is different. So a nursing model is more, well, I don't know. Is it more hands-on and nurturing versus a medicine is more clinical prediction? I
I
don't
think
know.
it's
Maybe.
somewhat, yes, yes,
Okay.
but you still have to have had experience hands on.
Yeah, you still have to have hands-on experience. And this is why it's so important, you guys who are in college, it is you when you get your, certification. Some of you get a certification in high school like a CNA, or you could be a medical assistant. You need to work while you're in college. This is critical. You have to have a certain number of hours
Yes,
of shadowing, volunteering in a clinical setting, and utilize that. No, you don't get paid as much, especially now. You know, you could work at UPS and get paid way more than a medical assistant, right? But the critical thing is, it's not just about the pay, it's about
right,
the hours. Because
yes,
you don't want to have to graduate and then have to wait to get into schools that you want to, whether it be medical school, PA school, whatever, because you don't have enough clinical hours.
absolutely,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, that this is you're dropping knowledge on here, Madge. Lot of knowledge, and there are people watching. Shout out to all you watching. Please, I see a lot of you watching. Please tell me where you're watching from. Chat in the Put it in the chat. Whether it's LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Talk to me. Where you watching from? If you have any questions, please, this is your opportunity to ask. So, last question. What is your favorite part of the career? You kind of alluded to it. You just have a lot of fun with your people, but like what
Oh,
what's your favorite part?
well, two, my patients and my coworkers. My patients, I cannot say enough about them. I love them. They love me. They and they come back and they tell me, "Oh, my legs feel so much better, or I look so much better. My I'm getting compliments." That's what makes me feel good.
Yeah. Oh man, I think she got disconnected from her phone. Maybe somebody was trying to call her while she's doing the interview. I'll wait for her to come back. But this is what she's saying is so critical. Um because I had a torn meniscus. I had a torn meniscus, and with my torn meniscus, I had to see somebody real quick. And I had a friend who was a secretary or medical assistant for orthopedic surgeon, and she got me in to see his PA. And his PA gave me a medication. I could not walk. I could not walk. And when got that med, I could walk. That's how much things changed. So when I tell you, I didn't get a chance to see the orthopedic surgeon. The orthopedic surgeon is only doing high level surgeries. He's not gonna just give me a little bit. He's not gonna write a script for me to take a medication to walk. He's doing something else. So PAs make a lot of a lot of how do I say, a lot of medical care accessible quickly. A lot of medical care accessible quickly. So you're never going to see an orthopedic surgeon first. You're going to see a PA. You're never going to see another type of surgeon first. You're going to see their PA. But the quicker you see someone, the better. So I really, really am excited about this physician's assistance programs that many students are moving into. I really, really believe that's going to be the future. There'll be way more physician's assistants than there are physicians, maybe. I don't know. Uh, some physicians are not happy about that in the hospital setting. But now with the future of artificial intelligence, I think there'll be less managers and more people doing hands-on work. So consider it, especially if you don't want to be in school for uh 10 years. It seems like you could just get your bachelor's in biology, and Madge was able to get a 2-year degree in physician's assistants, 24 months, and they make quite a bit of money. They make less than the surgeon does. Surgeons make 500,000. It's okay to make 100, 200,000. uh, and so, hey guys, I Madge got cut off, and I don't think she was able to get back. But I'm so excited. I think we got a lot of other of her anyway. Madge, I really, really appreciate you for coming on. I am the phenomenal STEMist, and so was she. Make sure you provide. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just to remind you, those of you who are watching, thanks for watching, and prepare your kids. You can't get into PA school without being prepared from young. So get that book. Join that prep class. www.phenomenalstemist.com. Good night, everybody.